Hello. I wanted to talk today about what I think gets overlooked a lot with the conversation about falling in love with yourself and the importance of being in love with yourself. I think the topic in general is very important, and I think a lot of people do hit a lot of the right notes that you only have yourself and you're with yourself 24/7, 365, so you might as well love yourself. But I think that the main thing that a lot of people overlook is the way that life in itself runs on love. And if you do not have love for yourself, you have no driver or ability to connect and live a full, fulfilling life. I think that when you think about life in itself, my belief is that the meaning of life is the ability to create, connect, explore, and love. But all of those first three things stem from love and a frequency or energy of love in general. Your ability to create is because you have something inside of you that you need to get out, and that typically is of a love or passion for creation or for creativity. The excitement you get when exploring a new topic is one that is out of passion, out of love for a topic. It is so unique to you and your experience. Curiosity as a whole, too. The love of exploration, the love of learning, the love of seeking out new ideas or thoughts. It's all passion and love is the driver of it all. So while love is often, I guess, experienced and seen in our day-to-day through individuals connecting with each other, I think that there's a lot of importance that I want to shed light on in the love that you have for the way that you yourself conduct love in experiences in your life and within yourself. And you cannot authentically do so unless you have that love for yourself. It's really easy to fall into patterns of comparing yourself to other people or seeing what other people have or just not feeling secure within yourself. And so it's very easy to be critical, oh, I should look like this, I should act like this, I can't believe I said that, I can't believe I did that, I can't believe I looked like that back then or now. It's this hypercritical thought loop that brings you out of the love for yourself. Even if you are in a space now where you feel more comfortable with yourself and you find yourself being critical of who you used to be, I think that there's a lot of misconception on being super critical of who you used to be. And while that person might not have been operating out of the love that you have for yourself now, I think attacking that person without love or compassion for the experiences that they went through, the experiences that they were in, the situation that what they were in, is doing it out of in spite of love. And I think there needs to be more love there. And I am a huge victim of this, and I catch myself in this pattern all the time because I am my biggest critic always, and I'm trying very hard to unlearn this habit because that person that I was in a situation, in experiences, in a battleground, honestly, that they had to do what they had to do to survive in that moment. But now I'm here and I'm not there, and I am trying to live out of love for myself and for life and for my ability to provide that love through creating and talking and experiencing. And so I love who I was then for getting out of those situations to bring me here now, if that makes sense. Love who you were then because it brought you to now, to your ability now, out of those situations, to then keep living out of love. It's like a learned experience. And you couldn't be who you are now without who you were then. So I think that's really important. I think another thing I really wanted to touch on is the fact that it's hard because a lot of the times we experience hardships in our day-to-day. We go through things, someone, I don't know, cuts us in line or cuts us off on the freeway, and it's hard to, in those moments of, I guess, like triggering, I guess, negative patterns, to live out of love in those moments, those small things usually. And I just want to argue for the ability to channel that, like, anger or that hardship that you're feeling in that moment into love. Because when you do so, I think it's a really great direct pushback, or I guess accounting for yourself in those moments. Because when you get stuck in those patterns of feeling these negative things, it's not getting justice in those moments always. Like, you can seek out justice, but it's dwelling on those negative feelings. It's dwelling and feeling those patterns that cause you more harm than the other person. You're not getting your revenge. You're not feeling justice in those moments. You're just taking on those negative emotions and those feelings. I guess, like, one of the biggest ways that I try to do this is in moments where I feel really alone. Like, for example, we just had the holidays. I was alone on Christmas Eve, and I spent the whole day by myself. And instead of just, I felt sad, and you have to feel your feelings, because if you do not process your feelings, you can't move through those emotions and those thoughts and honor what your body and your mind is feeling to then get to a space of living out of love. You have to move through them, because if you suppress them and you don't acknowledge them, you're denying yourself. So, very important. Feel those emotions, but don't keep moving through them over and over and over again and get stuck in that thought loop. Feel them and then act in a way of love for yourself. So I was feeling very alone. I felt my emotions, I cried it out, and then I reached out to people that I loved for talking. Like, I called my family because I wasn't with them. And then I took care of myself. I cooked myself a really good meal. I watched a good show. I went to a spa. And it doesn't even have to be like, you don't have to take yourself to a spa, you know, like, that's just what I did. I know not everyone has the financial needs or ability to do so, but just pampering yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, doing things for yourself. Because a lot of what people say about you being with yourself 24/7, 365 is very important and true. But I also think it's very important to know that, like, when you pour into yourself 365, 24/7 and love yourself during that, you have the energy from that love to live your life in a way that's creative, authentic, fun, appealing to that childlike wonder that you used to have as a kid. And I can get into that more, but I think, like, appealing to that childlike self in your day-to-day is so important, because that's, like, who you were before all the filters, before all the noise of your day-to-day. I talked really fast in this because I was feeling a lot of love and passion for the topic. It kind of just, like, came up on my drive home. I literally just worked out. I'm literally in my workout clothes right now, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and would love to hear any thoughts you have on the topic, because I find it so incredibly interesting and important. Like, this, like, guys, please love yourself. And it's hard. It is so hard sometimes. And there are ways to feel that love for yourself. For example, finding little things about yourself every single day, journaling, and you'll start to see more of the love and more of the things that you enjoy about yourself. Also, EFT tapping. Look up Brad Yates on YouTube, and he has a lot of great videos, and it is a literal scientifically proven way to reprogram your brain so that you can actually feel the love that you have within you for yourself. Because everyone has love for something, for someone, for things, because you are not truly living if you don't have love. And yeah. Well, I hope you guys had a good holiday. I talked really fast, but yeah. Thank you. Bye.